E. Cummings, born in 1894 and died in 1962. He was an American poet, painter, essayist, author, and playwright. He known for his experimental and unconventional style of poetry. He served in World War I as an ambulance cop. He associated with modernist free-form poetry. Much of his work has idiosyncratic syntax. He often uses lowercase spellings for poetic expression. He rejected traditional poetic format and device and create own style for self-expression. He loved poetry from the childhood and he started writing poems since he was 8 years old. He wrote approximately 2,900 poems and several essays. He studied at Harvard University and received his graduation and master degree. He developed his interest in modernist poetry and ignored conventional grammar and syntax. During his graduation, he worked for a book called Dealer. His earlier poem was Eight Harvard's Poets in 1917. His first book, Enormous Room, published in 1922, based on his imprisonment experience. His poetry collection titled Tulips and Chimneys appeared in 1923, and another poetry collection is Five Anti-War Poems published in 1926. It contained 88 poems and divided into 5 sections. Cummings wrote introduction for the book to explain his approach to the poetry, and that he argued forcefully poetry is a process rather than a product. He earned a national and international reputation as a poet. Cummings was recognized as the second most widely read poet in the United States after Robert Frost. Also, he best known for his painting for the self-portrait, and another painting is Words, 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 and Noise number 13. During his lifetime, he wrote 4 plays. First, Hymn, one-act play, Anthropos or the Future of Art, one-act play, Tom, a ballad, based on Uncle Tom's Cabins, description of 4 episodes. Fourth one is Santa Claus, a Morality, one act play with 5 scenes. Essays, Coming Artistic Philosophy, in a series of lecture delivered at Harvard University, he called non-lecture and published as I6 non-lecture, in which he talks about poets' individual creative expression more important than language rules. Buffalo Bill's titles refer to a celebrity buffalo hunter, William Frederick Cody, his nickname Buffalo Bill. Cody was a famous American hunter, soldier, and showman. Word Bill stands for strength to kill wild animal. E. Cummings published Buffalo Bills 3 years after Cody's death. We find a space between Bill and the apostrophe S, which indicate possession and characteristic of Cummings' unique rule breaking by the use of punctuation in poetry. Buffalo Bill's poem, published as a part of a collection titled 7 Poems in the Dial magazine in 1920. It is one of the cynical poem, also it is an allegory. Poem talks about mortality or fears of death. Central idea of the poem is life has no escape, everyone has to test death. The poem centers on the personality and lifestyle of the Buffalo Bills code. The word defunct implies a callous behavior of the Buffalo Bills. Buffalo Bills as a representative of a death. जानवरों को मौत के घाट उतारने वाला, एक दिन उनसे भी मौत आनी है. Poet recalls his time, how he used to ride a horse and go to the hunting with an excitement. He would shoot down many pigeons and buffalo at a time, and the poet laments on Jesus Christ. This handsome man is no more, and he wanted to know whether Mr. Death like the blue-eyed boy or Buffalo Bill, and given self-answer, of course. Death doesn't discriminate with anyone. Poem deal with a nameless narrator reflect his awe or fear about life and death upon the news of the death of Buffalo Bills. Buffalo Bill is a modernist poem in which certain meaning are found. Poem end with ironical sentence, "How do you like your blue-eyed boy, Mr. Death?" in such a way that their intended meaning is different from the actual meaning of the word. The poem implies Cody was a superior to everyone. Poem satire on Bill. Title of the poem is alluding to Cody, but it's not tribute to him. The poem reminds us he was a skilled hunter, he was a reckless, but Mr. Death doesn't spare anyone. Whether good or bad, everyone dies. The poem is an expression of respect toward the heroic personality of the man, but if we read the poem critically, we find the poet is satirizing the traditional heroism of killing armless and harmless animals with the guns from a distance. It is a showing cruelty, similar with Shooting an Elephant, essay written by George Orwell. It is partly tribute to the legendary hero who ruthlessly killed buffalo and as well as pigeons, and partly an ironic poem which tells us that no one is heroic in front of death. It is a typographical poem, typing on the page, arranging word in such a way, sketching of a gun or pistol.